the sonic art, touching souls, a brand new start. Rock and interview, stories shared, chill hangouts, no time spared. From soulful whispers to a roaring sound, music unites on hallowed ground. All things music, a vibrant call for one and all to give their all in this sanctuary where dreams ignite. Music's power burning bright. Rockin' interview, stories shared, chill hangouts, no time spared. From soulful whispers to a roaring sound, music unites on hallowed ground. Glick house of music, a place to be for every heart, wild and free. Music's embrace, forever strong, a symphony of life all night long.
I was down to my last cigarette, staying past last call, drinking to regrets. Nothing works how you want it to. Ain't that the hard-proof truth? Swear I had nothing left. You spark life into a dying heart, dying heart. You showed up before I was too far gone. I give this one last shot, I give it all I got, 'cause I got nothing to lose. Love comes ready or not, you look like all I want. Seen it all, but this feels new. So I go forget my past, I'll give this one last chance, 'cause this might last. I was down to my very last dime, that couldn't change your mind. Good love is hard to find. You gotta lose some, ain't that the truth? I had to walk that road, thank God it led to you. I give this one last shot, I give it all I got, 'cause I got nothing to lose. Love comes ready or not, you look like all I want. Seen it all, but this feels new. So I go forget my past, I'll give this one last chance, 'cause this might last. I was down to my very last breath, no hope, yeah, love ain't fair, but now you're standing there. So I'll give this one last shot, I'll give it all I got, 'cause I got nothing to lose. Love comes ready or not, you look like all I want. Seen it all, but this feels new. So I go forget my past, I'll give this one last chance, 'cause this might last. Oh, 'cause this might last.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Nonsensical Network. It's your boy Glick and Glick's House of Music, your unofficial backstage pass to all things music. Hopefully, y'all are checking us out everywhere. Bio.link/Nonsensical Network. If you're not already, go ahead and give us a like, share, and a subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate that. Appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Daniel. What's going on? See you guys in the chat real quick and early. Enough about us, enough about that. Tonight, we are joined by Paul and Lindsay Ann, also known as Thistle Oak. And I'm going to stop talking and just bring them up because what's going on, guys?
Hey.
Sorry, I had a squirrel moment right in the moment of talking, but
it happens.
So appreciate y'all taking a little bit of time coming in and hanging out. It's a nice change of pace. A lot of my guests lately have been like heavy metal and rock and stuff like that. And you guys just took a few different varieties of some classic music, tossed it in a blender, and said, "Hey, we're gonna come out with our alternative Americana style that I'm digging."
Yeah.
The other day, I was making the post about you guys coming on for the story, and the song was on loop. And my girlfriend came back to the bedroom. She's like, "You must really love this song." I said, "I do. It was one that we started the show out with last. I do really like that song." And it was just on a loop because I was trying to type and everything like that. And I'm not quite smart enough to figure out how to pause it or anything like that.
It's like, this is the last time I want to hear
that. No, but no, I do appreciate y'all coming on and hanging out. You guys do have a very unique style, and I'm kind of curious. I want to jump right into that if you don't mind. Where did that come about?
The style of music?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was just a compilation of our backgrounds and like what we, Paul started in a folk band and we weren't trying to go straight folk.
Yeah, folk and rock. I've been in rock bands. I've been in folk bands. The folk band that I was in was called Kodiak. We were opening up for some pretty big names like Billy Strings and Head for the Hills and other things in like the bluegrass kind of genre, but we were more like, folk, but with a little bluegrass. Mm-hmm. And that was my background. And, you're.
Yeah, I grew up on country and I grew up, Americana is a newer thing, I think, for both of us. I didn't really know what that genre really meant or encompassed. And I think it kind of puts all of it together. And that is really what, makes us us. But there's still so many people out there that don't know what Americana is. So it's nice to be able to lean on, folk, rock, alternative to kind of like lead people to what we actually are.
Yeah, it's kind of like the melting pot of America, right? Like the melting pot of all the different genres.
Right.
Folk and blues and rock and everything.
Yeah.
That's how I've always kind of interpreted it. That style of music is just kind of what makes American music, and you just throw it into a blender, and what you come out with is usually, because you guys do a very nice combination of slower songs, the sappier songs and some upbeat stuff and whatnot like that. So you can definitely hear all the different influences and styles in it. I'm a fan. I'm a new fan. I just kind of stumbled across you guys as I was doom scrolling on Instagram, like I do most of my guests, because that's the only reason that I am on Instagram. Thank you to the algorithm allowing it to stay only in the music world. Lindsay, I think I heard your voice and I was like, "Ooh, hold on a second. Where was that at? Let me go back." And then I came back and went to your guys' page and started listening to some of your music and was like, "Oh, I really like these guys." And let my girlfriend listen, and she's like, "You should get them on your show." And I said, "I'm already working on it."
I love it.
It's funny because I look back at some of your posts as well, and Brooks Herring that you had on a while ago. We actually have a co-write with him.
Oh wait,
No, not Love Snuck Up on Me.
Love Me Like You Lost Me.
Love Me Like You
Oh,
Lost
I love that song.
We wrote with him.
Yeah.
Oh, really? He's a good dude. He was a fun guest. He was a really cool guy. I'm hoping he'll get up this way. I'm in Ohio, and we get a chance to see him live.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
He's great at guitar. He's got a great voice, great writer.
Yep.
We wrote that song with him and Kelly Daniels. Kelly Daniels is another great artist to check out in Nashville as well.
He'd be a riot to have on your show, I'm sure.
he's a big personality on stage and in person.
Yep.
Right.
we all wrote that song in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were just at Kelly's house, and we were like, it's time that we all kind of sat down together and did this, and it just came out, as some people are just like, it just kind of came to us. And Kelly came to us kind of with like an idea, and then we all just kind of were spitting ideas out, and then came the song. It's great.
Nice. Yeah, I like that one. I was debating, I think what did I pick? Well, obviously it started
Last is one of our most popular for sure.
Yeah, Whiskey and Wine is one I was debating, because I usually pick an opening song and a closing song. But as I asked you guys backstage, and we'll continue to play your music across the network, because we do shows 7 days a week, and we try to integrate music when we can and where we can. So as long as you guys are okay with it, we'll go ahead and continue to plug music in there. And one of the things that I do here on this show, I need to do it a little bit more often, but in between guests and stuff like that, if I'm having a hard time booking guests, I'll do a show and I'll just play former guest music, especially if new stuff is coming out, or if there's songs that's older that I personally like. I'll do a show just to play some music from former guests. So I'm sure there'll be some of your guys' older stuff that pops up on here.
Yeah, feel free to use
Love
it.
that.
We're pretty open with stuff like that. Permission to use our music. Granted.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we always make sure we shout out the artists and stuff like that. And one of the things that I do when I do these shows is absolutely, I'm sorry if I've been annoying you guys, but I tag the shit out of you. If I find you on a social media that we're on, I'm following you and I'm tagging.
Yeah.
We love it.
We're here for it. That's how we make social media work for the artists.
Mm-hmm. You guys, so down in, are you guys down in the Nashville area?
We are, yeah. We moved to Nashville in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
We met in Chicago. That's where I had my folk band, and before that, a rock band, and I went to school there. She moved from San Diego to Chicago. We met at a very famous blues bar.
Naturally.
called Kingston Mines.
Okay.
And then we ended up talking about music all night, and it wasn't until we moved down here though that we started making music together. Before that, it was just like a shared love of music, and she was doing her thing. She was in one of the biggest country cover band with Kelly Daniels
in Chicago,
in the Midwest area called Rockstar Rodeo. And then funny enough, Kelly Daniels, he moved down here to Nashville I think a year before us.
I think it was a year,
but it was that's maybe not the reason that we moved out. It was just like a coincidence that we're kind of he wanted you to take over the band originally.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I love you, but we had a very interesting brother sister, but also a great dynamic on stage.
Yeah.
And so people loved when we would perform together. And once I heard he was leaving, I was like, I don't really know that it's going to be the same. And honestly, these late nights and late weekends and just the schedule and all of it, I was like, you know what, maybe let's just end on a high note. So I quit the band as well. And then, after we decided, is this a hobby or are we going to actually try to do music? Whether it be together or separate, we're like, okay, we weighed out all our options, different places to move to, out of the country, in the country, all of it. And Nashville just kind of landed for us, especially with the songwriting potential. And that's something both of us really wanted to do. So we moved here, and yeah, Kelly Daniels has just been integrated in the whole journey of being in Nashville, which is kind of crazy because, you meet someone and you're like, wow, we really connect and we like perform all together. And it's just been a nonstop connection for our music journey, his music journey. It's just been great to know someone that well.
Yeah. And co-write.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, in Nashville, I mean, I'm assuming you guys been down there long enough. You've partaken in the writer circles and all that stuff. I mean, that's when Nashville. Shout out to Nashville. You guys have shown me a lot of love. I've had a lot of guests on here from Nashville, especially in the early days when I was first starting this show. And I will get down there eventually. But that's one thing people always bring up is the writing and being able to write with people. And you get down there and you see people, whether they're performing downtown or not downtown, wherever, and you want the opportunity to write with them, and then it just happens that you do. And for you guys, your experience bringing it up with the community down there, overall, how's it been for you guys?
It's been good. There is a little bit of like a cliquey sort of dynamic to the Nashville music scene of it's kind of like who you know. And I think when we first moved here, we thought it was going to be a little bit easier to just like walk up to people and like, hey, you want to co-write? And there are a lot of writers, and now I get it once we're, a couple years in, it's like
established. Yeah.
So many people move here every day, and you don't know, a lot of the writers are just doing it for the love of the game. I mean, not for the love of the game. They're basically not getting paid. Until they write a song that somebody cuts. Mm-hmm. So they're not interested in just writing with someone that they don't know because that song might not go anywhere and it's just they wasted an hour of their time.
Well, not to mention the connection in a room, so you can't just write with anyone, and most people don't want to, and they don't want to waste your time, like you're saying. So they kind of want to have coffee with you or like get to know you or meet you organically through friends and then hang out and see if they vibe with you in a general sense, not just writing.
It's weird. It's kind of like dating without dating.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, you like have to ask people to coffee before you even like.
And sometimes it's like they, if someone sees you on stage and you sing, if you're like talented and you like put on a good performance and it's a song that you wrote, it's like they saw you from across the room and they're like, hey, can I write with you?
Yes.
Like, it is very much like dating and just weirdly and a little bit cliquey. Like there's, groups that are like really intertwined and like, if
hard
you go,
to get into
like,
certain circles.
If you don't hang out at Red Door and you don't hang out at some other place,
right?
They don't really know you. So they don't know, it's a little weird. So we've taken our own path because we're artists as well as writers.
That's the other thing that we've learned moving here. We decided, we were going to move here and like do our thing. We both wanted to be involved in music, but we didn't know in what capacity. Then we decided to be a duo, right? We named ourselves, we're a duo. We started writing music, yada, yada. Then we realized that it was one of those, a lot of people move here as a songwriter or as an artist. They don't usually do both. Like it's just rare because you're either writing songs every day, all day, and like really trying to like get that hit and get in rooms with co-writers and do the thing, or you're an artist and you're grinding and you're like playing all these shows, you're doing all these things, and we're trying to do both. I'm not gonna lie, it's an uphill battle, but to do both, to be an artist and you write your own things and then we write together and people are like, they don't know us as songwriter names like our normal names. They know us as Thistle Oak and they're like, do you only write together? Do you write separate? Like it's a whole new world when we moved down that we learned a lot.
Yeah. kind of a crash course into it, and yeah, like you said, there's so many artists down there, whether they're songwriters or they're singers, performers, whatever the case. I know talking to some of the other guests, and I don't know, do you guys have a full-time band that performs with you, or is it just you two, or?
It's just us for the most part. When we play, we did have a kind of full-time band. We were playing.
I was gonna let you bring this.
We were playing a lot of full band shows at Sambuca.
Yep.
A lot of covers, but like a full band. That was what, 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
2024 is when it. 2023 into 2024, I would say.
Yeah, and we were just about to play a show, and we did a rehearsal, and she went to work, and I took the dogs for a walk, and I had a stroke on a walk
At 37.
Yeah. Yeah, which is doctors couldn't tell me why it happened or any underlying issues. They put a little chip in me to, keep track of my heart rate. But I from there, we had like just put out, what did we put out? We had put out one song, I think, right? Just Pretend.
Was that the only thing we had put out?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then we were supposed to be in the studio 7 days from then.
For this hill.
And then, I had the stroke. I was in the ICU for like 3 or 4 days. And then I still showed up at the studio, like on the 7th day.
To do vocals.
And I couldn't lift my right arm or my right leg.
Stubborn as a mule.
And then
it's like, we can reschedule it. He's going to understand. I think you were in the hospital. It's fine. He goes, no, we're showing up. I was like, oh, okay, sure.
So then, we tracked this hill, which kind of became more of a, originally it was about substance abuse and COVID and like getting over the hill of how even people without a substance abuse problem, relate. Sometimes like you were sheltered so much inside that like the little devil inside you became, more prevalent for those things. And that's what the song was about. And then it became about, I was doing this walk with my dogs and there's a big hill back towards our house. And that's the stroke happened at the bottom of the hill. And there was this like part of denial in me that was like, there's no way I'm having a stroke. There's something wrong with my leg or my hip. And so I stubbornly trudged all the way up the hill, like dragging one foot behind me, and got all the way home
to get
and in the door. So that the song, you want to get down?
Yeah.
The song kind of became something about that. And, since then we've just been solidly releasing music every 6 to 8 weeks.
Feeding the beast,
from there,
if you will.
Yeah, no, that's wild to just out of nowhere, with no, to go through that. And, fortunately and thankfully nothing major. And,
yeah, it was like a lightning bolt.
Yeah. Right.
Recovery, very blessed.
I get the stubbornness. I'm of a certain age where it took a lot for me to take the day off today. And then even today, my girlfriend was like, just stay on the couch. She works from home.
Yeah.
Like, just stay on the couch. If you need anything, just let me know. And every time I'd get up, what are you doing? I'm getting up. I'll just let me know. I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, I get that stubbornness 100%.
Yeah, we're both stubborn. So.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that, but no, that's crazy. But so you said something in there, right? That the tail end. Every 6 to 8 weeks, you guys are actively putting out new music.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the two of you either combined or separately, or how you guys both work together and work individually, are like songwriting machines, I'm assuming.
we have the blessing of a really big backlog of music, because like I said, with that folk band that I was in, and just my previous history in music of being in a rock band and a folk band, and all of the songs that I wrote with those two bands, we never really released at all. So sometimes we'll listen to those old songs or send them to our producer, and be like, what about this song? What about this? And
or kind of make them our own.
Yeah.
And then, kind of mold them into what we're doing and make it, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, the song credits and everything are still going to the people that wrote them, and the guys that were in the band before are very dear friends, so they are very supportive of us. You know, they've moved on and had families and like done other things, and not really musically. So they're all about us using that, you know, those songs and repurposing them, and so that's been helpful as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that definitely makes it nice, especially if they're like, hey, you know, just throw some credit our way, we're good. You know?
Yeah. And then also we're always trying to write with new people. So
Yep.
the ones that we really like, you know, make the cut. We're getting to the point where we're like, all right, now it used to be a sheet of songs that was like 30 songs, and now we're down to like, you know,
we're getting close. We're getting
like,
to the.
We better write more.
We need to write.
Now you got to do some actual work now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
It's like running out of things in the pantry. We got to go to the grocery store soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When you guys are writing, kind of what's your guys' do you like to be kind of left to yourselves, to your own devices, or you know, your writing style? How do you guys like to write?
I feel like so Paul went to music school. I started with music school and then changed my major because theory was not my situation. Not my forte. And I was like, ooh.
I loved theory.
I hated it. I'm also very bad at math, and half of theory, when you get into the higher levels, it turns into math. This is the long answer to your question. But I didn't have as much experience going into writing. And like when we moved here, I felt very vulnerable and didn't really know what to expect. So we would always kind of write together, whether it was just together or us and someone else. I've done some writing on my own, but no one's really ever seen that or heard that. I also am not super proficient in an instrument. I've dabbled, but like vocals has always been my thing. So we do tend to write together. I think I would like to try to write, you know, more separately or separate and then come together. But as of right now, we do most of it together or together with someone else. So we're usually always in the same room, you know, and I think we bring different things to the table, which is nice. And you'll hear that from people in Nashville in like a writer's room, that there's a lyricist, a instrumentalist, a
vibe guy,
a melody person. Guy. You know, everyone kind of has their hat that they wear, and you might be good at multiple things, but there is one that you're like most known for or proficient in. And I feel like we bring different things to the table, so it usually ends up working. We're not doing the same thing.
I would say you would definitely be melody driven. Mm-hmm. I'm usually either writing the guitar part or just like trying to spit out a chorus
or the hook. Yeah.
Usually for me, I'm a hook guy. You know, that's my bread and butter. But I'll throw some words in on the verse, and
yeah, we kind of do both things. But those are the things that we work best at, and I think we at least when we co-write with other people, we're at least bringing two different things to the table versus being two people at the same thing. Yeah. So that's helpful.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. What usually comes first for you guys, the music or the lyrics? Or is it kind of a mixture of both, depending?
It's weird being now writing in Nashville because we write with people, our good friend Noah Gibbings and you know, even Brooks Herring or you know
Kelly Daniels. I mean
less Kelly Daniels. I think Kelly Daniels like writes a little bit more like we do like you do.
Yeah.
But some of the guys that are just like really songwriters are so fast. Like they're like, okay, here, you know, they do it every day, multiple times a day. So they are just so get the plane off the tarmac. And I'm used to taking my time with songs and being like, okay, what does this guitar part make me feel? What is it really about? So it's an interesting change when we're writing with writers in Nashville, where it's like sometimes I feel like, oh shit, I better say something really quick, or the whole song's gonna be written before I say something.
It does feel like that sometimes because they're just spit. It's like fire.
Because
it's just coming out.
Yeah, and I'm used to just like being, like chilling in this room here,
out.
like
you might
playing.
Say
okay, maybe this is okay. Now I gotta like kind of a melody, and what does this make me feel, and like a couple of words here and there, and
no, they got like a whole like verse before. I'm like, what just happened?
But
what's this song about?
I imagine it's because it's a little bit competitive, and it's got to be competitive in the writer field.
Got to be quick.
They're very fast, and I think just learning that and knowing what I'm good at, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna start thinking about the hook right now while you guys are working on the verse and jump in on that.
It's kind of like the old tale of John Henry versus the machine. You being John Henry, and those writers are the machine, and you're just trying to, prove like, hey, I can still do this. Just not as fast,
just slowly, just a little bit slower.
Yep.
We don't have to get it done in 45 minutes. We have a full hour.
Or even 2 hours. My goodness.
But yeah, when we write with each other, we just, try not to put too much pressure on ourselves and kind of,
it usually starts with an idea.
Yeah.
And then Paul will just kind of start with a guitar part or whatever comes to mind. And then I'm like, ooh, I like that. That part of it. And then, but usually I feel like the music comes first before the lyrics do. Usually, or kind of like simultaneously. It's like we have an idea for a song. We know the vibe we're going for. You play major or minor versus or based off of the tone of the song, right? Is it going to be happy? Is it going to be sad? What kind of vibe are we going for?
There is every so often though some songs we've gone into a songwrite with where I don't know, like I have weird ideas, like if I'm in the shower or like our Peloton that's over here, like when I'm biking, in those moments where I'm like, I want to quit and like I tune out whatever's going on the bike, and I'm like in my head, something comes to me. So I have these like, those are the ones that are like lightning bolt songs. I feel like.
Yep.
That are just like a gift from the muse or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, right.
We're just like Closer to the Edge is one of our songs where my head is off my shoulders now. Like that whole chorus line came to me while I was just like about to die on the bike. like I don't know why, but it did. And then when I walked in to write, I'm like, okay, I have an idea. Let's write it around this.
Well, and I feel like I've learned so much too, where, I used to have ideas and you're like, I'm going to remember that. And then you don't. So have to instantly write them down. And I have a whole note in my phone of it's called Write About. And, you just got to write. Sometimes you got to write yourself notes so you remember why you thought what you thought. Sometimes you just write 4 words and you're like, I don't know why I wrote this.
And that's thinking like a writer. When you saw Jeffrey Steele, he was talking about that too. Like some of his famous songs where he just like overheard it. Someone said something like while he was taking a break at the studio to go get a coffee, and
Somebody
he overheard
something.
Someone at a table say something. He's like, that's the song. That's the song.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta have an open mind to it.
It's wild how that happens sometimes. Former guests and very good friends of mine of the network as well. They told us one time they were at a Mexican restaurant having dinner, and a song popped into their head, and he literally wrote it in less than 5 minutes on a napkin in a Mexican restaurant. And it's one of the more popular songs, one of their bigger songs, and one that we use around here quite a bit. Just because it's one of those feel-good songs, and it just hit them like that. When you guys do write together, because it's, do you guys write more from like personal experiences or life in general, or is it just, Well,
Whiskey and Wine is a good example. Like I wrote that at one point, like in my single days and like dating and like.
Wait, you dated people before me?
Oh no.
No. No,
Definitely
but
not.
He was single and tried to, but he didn't until he met you.
it was a moment of like confusion of like,
Yeah.
I don't know what this girl wants, and she doesn't. She obviously is maybe in the same situation as me,
Mhm.
And I sat down at the table and like I just came up with the whiskey and wine, and I came up with the first verse, but I sat on that song for maybe 6-7 years. That's all I had. It was just like, I'll go back to my whiskey, you'll go back to your wine. And she had heard me playing it one day in our like little, whatever you want to call, music studio or little music space. And she was like, "What's that? I like that." And I was like, "Oh, it's just like a song, I had an idea for a while back." And she's like, "Can we write that?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Like, can you maybe write the other part, like the female perspective?" And that's how it happened. And we've had a couple of songs like that are just like, This Hill, like I had the hook, didn't really have the verses. And we kind of just went back and forth on it. And I mean, not even really the hook, just the melody to the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just kind of put it on the, not the axle, the anvil.
I was going to say the chopping block. I was like, I don't know what you're trying to say.
It does feel, it often feels like a blacksmith though. Like,
Yeah, you're forging the songs out.
You just have a hunk of metal.
You're molding it into something.
And you see the potential, but you don't know what's going to happen with it. And it could be all fucked up and you might have to throw it out.
Or sometimes you think it's one shape and it turns into something completely different. And it's like, whoa, what?
Yeah. I totally understand that. I get that from doing podcasts and doing these different shows. I've had shows that just completely ate shit, and I've done the compassionate thing and put them out of their misery. This show originally was me playing music, and I had to find a loophole around. I was playing radio DJ type deal, and I had to find a loophole around the copyrights. So I was playing cover songs, and I'm like, I'm playing these cover songs for all these really great musicians that nobody knows. Why don't I start reaching out and seeing if maybe I can get them to come on? And one idea turned into a totally different idea for this show in particular. So I definitely get what you're saying with the songs and the music. You in your head you have one vision, but once it starts to come out, it's like, well, this is actually working a lot better. It sounded a lot.
I mean, that's kind of the beautiful thing about it, and what I feel like makes it art, right?
Mm-hmm.
100%.
I got my lovely girlfriend / producer in the background getting your guys' social media.
I was going to say, is that Kayla? I was
thank
like,
you,
she's
Kayla.
out here. Yes, thank you. Also, Pierce had asked who are some of our favorite music artists.
Yeah, that's one of his favorite questions to ask. Every guest.
We have
so many. It's art. Pierce, are you ready? You're gonna be here for like 3 hours.
So my original, like, when I was growing up, I loved hard rock and I loved like metal at the time when it was just become like my understanding of metal, like Metallica, Black Sabbath, Dio, stuff like that, like original kind of like where metal started. But I didn't really like follow through on that path. And I quickly turned off of that to like grunge in the 90s and like Nirvana and that whole era was just things that I loved.
Grunge,
Smashing Pumpkins and those bands.
You were about to say Smash Mouth, and I was like, what?
Well, Smash Mouth, I mean, is iconic.
It is iconic.
I mean, when that came out, I was like, hey, now. Who
wasn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, true. Good for them.
It's not really someone I put on a pedestal.
It definitely wasn't rushing out to get the Smash Mouth album, by no means.
Yeah.
No.
And then I had like a hippie era, where I was into
he had dreads.
Rusted Root, and I would go follow around like Fish and Grateful Dead and all that. So I mean, I think that's why our music I don't know if it's eclectic, but it like has so many
influences.
And the funny thing is the one thing I was never influenced by, I don't think, was country music. I never really heard it. I never really liked it, and I was a person who's like, country music sucks.
No, geez.
But that was before I knew some of the. It was more that I hated mainstream country.
I was gonna say.
But like Johnny Cash and like all the roots of country music I really loved, and Gillian Welch, and just these people that were making really heartfelt songs and ballads. And then that's where my music journey went into, and listening to singer-songwriters and Irish artists, and
Ryan Adams.
Ryan Adams is a huge influence on me. Like that was later on when I had already like gotten through my juvenile listening to someone I really like and identified with the style of writing, and Damien Rice, Glenn Hansard. Those are two Irish artists, but Paolo Nutini and all that. And then yours were all country.
I grew up, yes and no. So even crazier, I grew up in San Diego, like he said. I grew up going to outdoor country, country concerts. I would see Rascal Flatts. I'd see Keith Urban. But then, of course, my younger years, I'm listening to Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls. All the things that a teenager is listening to. But I'm also listening to like Nirvana, and I'm listening. So my range also, if you found my iPod, my very thick, heavy brick of an iPod when they first made them, it has all of those things. It goes from Celine Dion to Nirvana to probably some Metallica. It was all over the place, right? Mm-hmm. And I always came from a singing background. So Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, anyone that had those like huge pipes that was just bashing it out of the park.
Whitney Houston.
For a singer. Yeah, Whitney Houston, like those were my icons for singing. And I was classically trained. I was doing classical music from a very young age. I was doing voice lessons from a very young age, choir, show choir, all of those things, which he didn't start music until probably 14.
Well, it's funny too, because I was influenced by like early punk and stuff like that, where I was like, I don't need to be in tune when I'm singing. It's about the
all emotion,
and
bro.
That, and now it's like,
and I'm this classical, like I have to be in tune. I have to be in pitch. I have to be.
It's funny because
we
get opposite notes when we're in the booth in the studio.
Yeah.
It's like the vocal person who's recording us will be like,
your tone's great.
Your tone's great. Like you're really feeling it, but it's a little pitchy. Can you just tune it up? I'm like, no, I'm feeling it. And hers is like, okay, you're perfectly in pitch, but I need you to feel it a little bit more.
Yeah. From a young age, I remember my mom being like, you're not feeling it. I go, I don't know what you mean. Yeah. I'm like, I sound just like them. She's like, that's not the point. I'm like, but isn't it? Like, that was my whole thing. I was like, but I sound like her. It's fine. She was like, no, you have no emotion, no feeling behind it. So it was just like all instruction for me, all feeling for him. And I do feel like it's been a good balance because we both.
Yeah, you guys are. Yeah, the yin to your yang. You guys, what you lack in, he picks up. Where he lacks, you pick up, and you guys mesh and meld together perfectly. I like that. Music does have to. You got to feel it. I agree 100%. You got to feel it. I'm not a musician. I'm just a fan. But I
think as a fan, you can feel it when someone else is feeling it.
Yeah,
sure. And that's what makes you feel it as a fan so much more is when you can tell that they're not just like a robot singing the song, right? You can like feel the emotion that they're conveying through the song.
Mm-hmm. I bring up a lot, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this too. But I bring this up a lot. When people come to see you, they know the music. They've listened to music. We love the music. That's why we're here. But a lot of times, you know, what you do on stage makes that experience even better. I'm old, years and years and years ago. I went and seen Family Values tour with Korn and Limp Bizkit and
Hell yeah.
and all that. You know, again, I'm old. It was like their first run or their first year, and Stain was there, and I was excited because I liked Stain. But Aaron Lewis was in a bad place mentally and whatnot. So when he came up to perform, he got on the mic and, you know, sang every single song like this, and he didn't really do anything. And then they just walked off stage. Well, fast forward 20-some years later, I get the opportunity to go to Louder Than Life in Kentucky, and they're there. And I'm like, hell yeah. Still a fan of Aaron Lewis. Now I know a little bit of what was going on in his life back then from his country album he put out. Totally different performance. Blew me away. I was like, hell yeah, that's what I wanted to see when I was in my early 20s. So it's that thing. But, you know, and you realize that looking around, the audience, just that energy just brought everybody down. We'd all been riding a high all day long. And then that energy and that one performance just killed the mood for everybody. But for you guys personally, what is your stage presence like? What kind of performance would people who have never seen you guys expect to see?
I think it depends on the show that we're doing personally. I mean, if it's like a full band show, you know, we've done certain ones, and I think we try to keep the energy high, but also some of our music isn't very, you know, like go high energy. Some of it is moody and some of it has, you know, a lot of meaning. But I think staying true to yourself on stage is very important, and staying, you know, true to the story and true to like why you wrote the song. And that's the whole thing in Nashville. A lot of people love to hear the story behind it. Mm-hmm. So I think giving a little bit of context without like boring people of a whole like story, you know, you're not trying to spend 30 minutes on the mic talking about the song, but giving a little context and then pouring your heart out on stage is, I think, the most true thing that you can do as a musician, to like really give everyone the feeling of, you know, where the songs come from and why you're doing it. But I mean, I would say we put on a fun show. Yeah. You know, we're not trying to like bring the room down, but there's certain songs, you know, where we're telling Paul's story of having a stroke at 37, and everyone's like, what? You know,
we say that to the end.
You're shocking everyone.
That's the closing song.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, we're going to really
even the sappy songs, like you said, performed right. And I was a big fan of like MTV's Unplugged, and I think CMT did Storytellers. I love acoustic sets. When you can strip an artist down to just an acoustic guitar, and you know, and then they come out and they'll tell a little story about. I love that stuff. Again, maybe I'm old, but I don't know. I love that. You know, if there's a story behind the song, I want to know it. I'm a nerd. I'm such a nerd when it comes to music.
Closer to the music.
The MTV Unplugged with Kurt Cobain is like one of my favorites of all time.
So
hearing those songs, like not as thrashy and grunge and just like acoustic. And she's a real performer. I in my heart am an emo little, you know, an emo boy. So like if I can sing every song like this and be like, you know, just in the mic, but I try to open myself up to it and like, you know, perform. And once I'm in it, like
it's usually
once I'm in it, and then it's good. But like that's what I grew up with, and that's what I like kind of watched on TV and was like, man, their emotion is so raw. Like what they're feeling is so raw. Like I want to do that. And that's how I would write songs, and that's how I would do everything. And then on stage, that's not necessarily what people want the whole time. Like you can do one song like that.
Well, sometimes I feel like you're a clam that opened their shell and you're like, wait, I'm on stage. Yeah. Like, no.
So
it's back up.
You know, I even in personality, she's extroverted. I'm introverted.
It's true.
So it's kind of that same way. I have to
still the yin.
I have to pretend enough on stage that I can get into it and feel comfortable. And for her, she's just like swimming out there, like, all right, let's go, let's do it, let's. Yeah. And I'm like, oh fuck,
Hide me. Well, it's funny too because sometimes it'll be like, "Do you want to talk about the song, or am I going to talk about the song?" And everyone can see you. You're on stage, so like he's like, I don't know. Do you want to? I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about it because we don't have to. We need to like plan these things ahead and be like, you're going to talk about this song. I'm going to talk about this song. But even at a writer's round, sometimes we just try to keep it organic and. Yes, clearly I'm the one who likes to talk, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to tell you all the things. I'm going to tell you all the feelings.
Yeah, like you said, again, it's that yin and yang, right? You guys are polar opposites, but it meshes. You guys come together as one, and it's like a perfect combination. Across the board, it sounds like.
That works well.
Yeah. No, I get that. I'm like that. I'm more of I'm outgoing. It drives my girlfriend crazy because everywhere we go, I make a new friend. And she's like,
that's me. I'm like a friend in the USPS line. I'm trying to mail something.
Yeah, we're at Walmart. And I'm just talking to a complete stranger. And she's like, you know them? No. Why are you talking to them? Oh,
I do now. Yeah, they're coming over later for dinner. Is that okay?
Yeah. She's like, she just wants to get out. She's annoyed by every other living being. and I'm like, hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? Oh, what are you buying?
Yeah. She's like, that's one thing I never have to be afraid of if we go, meeting family or new friends or whatever. She's like, you're fine. I don't have to worry about you.
Oh yeah, no. I could be left to my own devices.
Yeah.
17 new friends by the end.
Yep.
I'll be best friends with the cousin Paul didn't even know he had.
Oh, wow.
Like you've talked to them for longer than I have my whole life. Just in this
moment, yeah.
Yeah. She said that's too much. That's too but I mean sometimes too many people. So but I mean, doing what you guys do, sometimes you gotta have that personality. And for Paul, he can hide behind you and let you do all the peopling, and he can go, okay, when you're done, we can leave.
Right? Yeah, I'm just like, I need to drag you along because you're the other half of this party.
Yeah.
So introduce yourself. I'll do all the talking, but you have to be the oak portion of this.
Mm-hmm. I'll stand in the corner like the oak. Just be the tree.
Just like a solemn oak tree in the corner.
Exactly.
No, that's great. But no, this is what I love. You get to kind of chat with you guys on this show with my guests and openly, and get to know more about you as people, not just as artists and musicians. But Thistle and Oak, where did that come from for you guys as a name?
We had, so not to bring up my previous band again, but that's where it started. Was we had a long list where we just it was a folk trio. So we, one night or something, we wrote down like every name that just fast fired to the top of our heads. And a lot of them were just nonsense. My personal favorite still is "You're a Wizard, Harry." But, that ended up coming up with Kodiak that we like the most. And so I had that list, and I was like, well, let's do something similar. We were on a road trip, and I think, was it our road trip down to Nashville and then back, or
to Chicago? We were going up for something. I remember specifically.
Going to Chicago?
Uh-huh. I promise.
From Nashville?
Yep.
Oh, either way, we decided to just write down, on the road trip, 8 hours, just like looking out the window, thinking of things. And we wanted it to be like this and that, something in the realm of like two things or the whatever. And we wrote probably 150 different names.
So many random things.
Eventually we we just like scanned through that, and we were like, okay, these 5 names
Yeah.
we like.
Was
and
it the Deep Blue or something like that?
Yeah,
One of your favorites?
the Deep Blue, or I don't know, the Deep something. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we still have the list. It'd be
Yeah.
funny to look back at.
I
the
do have it
ones that-
somewhere.
yeah,
It's on a torn like piece of paper. It can
naturally.
hopefully someday go up in a glass case and be
In your handwriting.
worth something.
One day
Yeah.
they'll have it at the Hard Rock or something.
Yeah.
Yes, in a museum somewhere.
Yeah, but we just saw Thistle and Oak, and that just felt like the one. And I think it came from like in Nashville area, a lot of thistles grow wild, and they're these beautiful purple flowers all along the highway. And also, when I was growing up, one of my dad's favorite movies, and then like kind of became mine and my sister's favorite movies, was Braveheart, where he like puts the thistle in the page in the beginning of the movie, and then later on he shows her like, hey, I saved this thistle from when you gave me when we were children. So it kind of had that meaning as well. And then, oak trees grow everywhere. And as a child, I loved climbing trees. Behind our house, we had like this dog run. And behind that was like, I don't know how many, I'm not good with like land measurements, but it was like, it was like one of those areas. I grew up in Rockford. So there was this like big, it wasn't like a forest per se, but it was like this area between a lot of houses on one street. And then the other street was so far away that there was this like, and we were in a cul-de-sac that there was like almost, it felt like a forest as a kid. I'm sure now I would go there and be like, this isn't,
It's
just like between houses.
Yeah. But like to me, it felt so secluded. And so, that was my space. I'd go out there with like my action figures and like go up into the trees and set them up and whatever. And that was, a lot of that was oak trees.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of bands too that we love are like duos that we love, like Civil Wars and Shovels and Rope. And, there's definitely that in the background of my mind that I was like, I like these, but I don't want to copy them specifically, and it was like, how do we come up with our own version of these things that we like? And I think it was just a compilation of all those things. And to be honest, to this day, we get a lot of compliments on our name. And I'm like, it's like a reassurance that we did the right thing.
Yeah. If this doesn't work out, we're going back to your wizard Harry.
You heard it here. If you ever hear that name,
that's going to be my DJ set.
Oh my god!
It just sounds like a punk, kind of like a late '90s, early 2000s punk band. They would have fit right in there with like Sum 41 and all.
Yeah, that's our side project.
No, it does have it's one of the it's a cool sounding name. And it's one of the, once you hear it, it's like you can't, and not in a bad way, you can't unhear it. It's one of those like, it goes together real well, and you guys being a duo, like I said, it's just one of those perfect sounding names, and to know what an oak tree is, know what thistle is, and to listen to your guys' music, you guys have that really really pretty sound, but also kind of strong like an oak tree in your writing and the songs that you sing. They have meaning and stuff to them. So it meshes well.
Yeah, thank you.
So, hey, the universe works in strange ways. So
it's even funnier to, have the name before anything really like happens. You just start calling yourself this thing, and like,
it's like you got my mom always said, you got to be careful what you name your dogs, because we had a dog as a kid that was named Rascal, and he
was a rascal.
Yep, 100%. No, I mean it's trying to come up with that name is sometimes the name can make or break a band. I mean, at the end of the day, because there's
besides Stupid Tank.
Obviously. Whoever questioned that.
I mean, iconic.
The fact that they were as big as they were, to be honest, with that name, it's crazy. I'm here for it.
Yeah. No one knows what it means, or at least I don't. But.
No, neither.
I'm always down for some nonsense.
Right?
No, and you know, my poor girlfriend, like you said, you guys had the name before you were doing anything else. But kind of having that name locks you in. You have to do it, because that's my crazy ADH brain. I think like that all the time. I come up with a new idea for a show, and I have everything planned out, name, logo, intro, but then I don't have any. There's no mapping on how I'm going to do the show or how the show's going to go, and then it's like, ooh, shit. I kind of lost myself. Now I got to do it, which is what you guys did. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because here you are. You're doing the music. You're making good music. You guys are hopefully having fun and enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a grind, but we chose this path.
Where would you guys like to see yourself in like the next 5 years or so?
Oh, I mean, the ultimate
the
goal.
Grammys.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
That's a really, really big goal.
You gotta shoot for the stars.
Yeah, that's true. He's not wrong. The ultimate goal would be just like only doing music. Like we moved here for this. We both have jobs that allow us to do music, which is great, but not to the full extent that I think we would like to do. And I would love to just be performing and be making enough of a living off of music to have it be sustainable, and to only be doing music, which would be great.
Yeah. The transition to full-time, which unfortunately is just, seems to be getting harder and harder for independent music. But.
Yeah. It's it's almost like you have to take the risk to go, all right, I'm dedicating myself to this full time, and not doing your 9 to 5 schedule, so to say, and take that risk to see if it pans out, or treads along and hopefully kind of hit that point where you start to break even, where it's like, all right, we can finally maybe do part-time instead of full-time and dedicate more time to the craft. Well, you guys want to do like big tours, big shows, or anything like that?
Yeah, that would be great. We did before. Did we not have any music out at that point? I don't think so.
Maybe like 2 songs.
Yeah, we got
a little ahead of ourselves.
We quit our jobs and tried to do music full time.
2022. This was before the stroke.
2022. We were just who were we watching on St. Vincent? And she was doing like
St. Elmo.
a TED Talk or master class, and she was like, "Hey, if you want to get hit by the train, you got to lay on the tracks." And we were like, "All right, let's quit our jobs."
We both like looked at each other like, "Yes."
And then we were broke in about 6 months. And we're like, okay, we got to go back to our jobs. But, I think we learned a lot from that, is like, you need to at least have a little bit of a base of an audience. Like there needs to be people who are like, want to listen to your music. Mm-hmm. And then we realize, maybe we keep our jobs and we use that to fund kind of doing some marketing and
get more
release music and see what happens, and try to get, like you're saying, to a jumping off point where some people, when we go to every town, may have heard of us.
Or at least you get enough in one place that maybe could spread the word, or you only go there, or you only go there in like one other spot. We don't have to have like 17 places on our tour list. It could be like 3 to start, and like do that and build a following that way. And, it was we jumped off a cliff with no water.
If Taylor Swift needs an opener,
hey.
we're cool with that.
Well, you never know who's listening to these shows.
Right?
Swift, call us down
Yeah.
the road.
Yeah. I mean, her soon-to-be husband's from right up the road from where I'm at. Maybe
I love this connection. Yes.
maybe I could put in a good word with his big brother.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wait, where in Ohio are you guys?
We're in Central Ohio. We're down by
Okay.
Columbus. So,
Yeah, I have family in Columbus.
okay.
Yeah.
I spent many of my childhood summers in Cleveland.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too.
No, it's better than Cincinnati. I do love Cleveland. Cleveland. I have some very fond memories of going up to Cleveland, and when I was young, but a little bit older, we used to party up there a lot. We'd go up to the flats and stuff like that. We'd do some partying up there in Cleveland. But my girlfriend said, "Yeah, you guys should come to do some shows in Ohio."
I mean, we do.
Honestly,
we get a lot of Ohio's coming through on comments. Yeah. We get, it's starting to expand, getting a little traction. We're trying to learn the social media game, and it's all a learning process.
Yeah,
you
got
to be an influencer now to be a musician. It is what it is. You got to be an influencer to do anything at all. If any kind of entertainment.
On the other end of the spectrum, though, before social media was a thing, there was no way for a band to just post something and get it in front of 500 people.
Yeah.
True.
So in a way, it's a superpower, even though it's annoying. It's like I post, a video of me pouring coffee and singing to one of my songs, and 500 people sing it or see it.
Yeah.
Maybe only 10 people like it, but like, there's no way I could have done that in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the nice thing about that is, 500 people see it. Only 10 people, maybe only 10 people like it. But those 10 people tell 10 of their friends, and maybe only 3 of their friends like it. But then that continues, and that trickle down effect kind of, and then hey, 500 views translates somehow magically in the social media algorithm into 2,000 new followers in a in a few days, or whatever the case may be. I call it a necessary evil. Social media. I mean, I hate it, but
so do we.
This is where we are. So I have to take advantage of it. I've even resorted to just to play the algorithm monster. Jump on my old TikToks and start downloading some of my old videos just to throw up there, because like you guys said, I would love to dedicate all of my time to doing this podcasting stuff, but unfortunately I got kids, and I have to work and all that other crap. And when I do get a day off, this is what I'm doing. So I don't have time to do all the other behind the scenes podcasting stuff that I need to be doing and would like to do. So it's a necessary evil, but you got to put yourself out there to be able to get those people to see it, hear your music. And once you get enough of a following, like you said, even if you put a handful of butts in a seat, and you're on a show with 1 or 2 other bands, you might have a packed house, and maybe a third of them are there to see you guys, but the rest of them never heard of you guys. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, wow, we like these guys. Where are they going to be at next? And then that makes it easier for you when you are out on the road or hitting the road, to be like, look, we can bring this type of crowd.
Yeah, that's the beauty of being an opener. I mean, you always hope for more fans just being like, hey, I know you don't know who I am, but I am similar to the people that you are here to see, so give me a chance,
Yeah, it'd be great just to get on a ticket with a similar band. Like,
even
that's, I think, somewhat the next step is, once we have,
or a festival.
At first, like when we started reaching out to even just venues, it'd be like, okay, well, send us your social media. But when you send them a social media that only has 500 followers across 3 platforms, they're like,
who is
no.
this? No, we're good.
Which is understandable. They want social proof.
Sure.
They want proof that people, there's some kind of social proof that people want to see you. Mm-hmm. It's not just based on them listening to your music, which I'm sure they're all busy with their own shit, booking. Now it's like building up those numbers to at least a respectable amount to where now we can send it to venues and they go, oh, cool. You have, 10,000 followers on TikTok.
Mhm.
Like that's enough for an opening show. We'll book you. And that's just the way, the world works at this point. I think they want social proof that.
Yeah.
I think it was very eye-opening when we moved here, right? And we were like, okay, not right away because we didn't even have a band yet. But when we started the band and we started sending those emails and just getting rejected or not getting any response at all and only having maybe one song out that wasn't even like
or it'd be like, okay, come to our open mic.
And we were like, okay, well, all right. And now I'm like, oh, man, okay, we have like 12 songs out. We have a following on all platforms. Maybe it's not like millions, but like it's way more than we used to have. So it makes me more confident to send it and be like, okay, we're actually somebody, hopefully a rising star. Yeah. So it makes you feel a little bit better to know that you have that to back yourself up and be like, okay, we do have somewhat of a following. Mm-hmm. Please let us in so we can get more of a following.
Yeah, it almost makes you guys more legit in today's world with the social media and stuff like that. Like, look, we are doing something. People are listening. People are following. You can see that from just YouTube alone. I mean, you guys have gotten quite a few views on your videos up there. So I mean, people are listening to the music. Now you just need that door open a little bit so you can kick it off the hinges and do your thing. Do you guys do a lot of the open mics, or do you guys get the opportunity to do a lot of gigs down? Do you prefer, I guess, what is Broadway down there, or do you prefer being off of Broadway and doing some of the other smaller venues or smaller bars or whatever?
Well, Broadway's at this point just commercial. They want you to play covers exactly like they sound on the album. They don't even want you to play your version of a cover. They just want you to play a cover exactly how it sounds on the album.
Yeah.
Which, to better or worse, and I think worse, because it's the songwriting capital of the world, but everybody comes here and they just get drunk on Broadway and they just listen. They could just listen to a jukebox, but they're listening to a live jukebox.
But it's crazy because that's what they want. I used to sing on Broadway.
Sure. And if everyone wants to shout out
something
Freebird or whatever,
a little different.
Yeah.
They're like,
they want to hear exactly
the way
how
that
they know it. Yeah. Which is fine, but Broadway is not where you find artists in Nashville.
It's true. You might find a good singer and be like, hey, do you want to be in my band? But it's usually you're just finding people that are just covering the same stuff over and over. I mean, you go down the strip and it's over and over the same songs,
But we play writers' rounds. We play places that are smaller, like Brown's Diner,
Sambuca when it was open.
Not Donnie's, Dee's. There's other small venues. The Underdog, the American Legion, stuff like that.
Even hotels
will put you on.
They'll play covers, but you can play your own stuff in between the covers.
It's definitely smaller crowds, but if people are here really looking for new artists and looking to hear that sort of thing, then they'll come in and it's like a listening room sort of thing. But yeah, I think. Most of what you want from audiences, it's a weird thing in Nashville. Is like it's oversaturated with artists. Mm-hmm. So the audiences that you're looking for are outside of Nashville. Like you have to go 2 hours away to get paid for anything.
Yeah,
because there's so many people who are here who are just and amazingly talented people, all of them, for better or worse, really good guitar players, singers, whatever, and they'll take the gig if you don't want it. So that's kind of how
they know
the
they
whole,
can fill it.
That's kind of how the whole Broadway thing works. Is like, hey, if you don't want to play the song like we want it played,
we'll find someone else who
we'll
will.
find someone who
There's
will.
25 other people that will.
So,
Yeah.
so it
The line
becomes
is
this
long.
thing, and until you're somebody,
You're nobody.
you're
Or
nobody, and
you're
you
our
can't
person.
really do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like you have to book only these specific places where they're known for new artists and being discovered and being a room where people want to hear that. And they're small venues that don't pay very much, which is whatever. But to like get a big Broadway stage, there's no way they'd ever book you unless you're already at a level where you're well known.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even for covers.
Do you guys do any covers, or do you guys solely do mainly your own music?
Yeah, we had a Twitch show like when we were talking about
Do you want me to go
quitting our job. We had a Twitch show that we would play anywhere from like 1 to 3 times a week for like 3 hours at a time. And we had, I don't know, a rotating list of like 300 songs or something. Was a little easier because obviously it's a Twitch show, so you can like, okay, I don't know if I know that song, but we'll try to play it. And you look it up on the iPad and you're like, this might not go so well, but it's not as much pressure as being in front of a paying audience where you're like, let me pull this up on guitar tabs and I'll try to play it, but I might fuck it up. But yeah, we have that experience of just playing a lot of covers and learning a lot of covers over time, and in other bands that I've been in. Obviously she was in a country cover band, so though there are staples that we know really well. And we used to play Sambuca all the time. A lot of the good paying shows are cover shows. So we still do that. And even, sorry, I'm plugging in this charger.
Oh, you're good.
It has such a short charge. And we are not opposed to covers. We've released a couple covers. We have Swing Swing by All American Rejects, who I just still absolutely love after all these years. I've always loved them. They are like stalwart in the music industry for being like, we need to change things for artists because obviously no one makes any money besides the people at the top. Now the artists make any money. They have a new project where it is called, I think it's Backyard or Play Yard or something like that, where it's supposed to try to get bands in basically to play at not at venues, but in like people's yards. Like people will put on a show, but professionally, and they'll get roadies or whatever, and they all like do the whole thing the same as they would do for any show. But they skip Ticketmaster and they skip Live Nation and they just go straight to the artist.
Oh, wow.
And then, obviously the people who do, they pay the people who obviously bring in the equipment and whatever, but they're skipping the middleman, like just the ticket purchaser.
Yeah.
And they did a tour recently that went through Nashville, and I thought it was super cool because they're so established. They're famous. Like they don't have to do that. But they're one of my favorite bands of all time. We did Swing Swing by All American Rejects. And recently we did Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. Those are both, you can find them on Spotify or YouTube or whatever thing you want to stream them off of. Those are the ones that we have like professionally recorded. Yeah.
We had a local radio station here in town where I live where they used to do something like that. Backyard. It was a giveaway. that they would do for their listeners, and they would get bigger named acts. I think when like Luke Bryan was first coming on the scene and really starting to blow up, they did one of those, and it was a giveaway that they did, and then they would just come set up a full concert in the backyard and just like invite your friends and neighbors, and that always I didn't realize that the Rejects were doing that, because that's just always to me seems like such a really cool idea, to even with independent artists, just to bring them together and you're like, we'll just set up here, we'll figure out a way to get them paid one way or another, but it's also a nice way for exposure too. You mentioned the Twitch thing. You guys would go live on Twitch and whatnot. Have you ever gone live on any of the other platforms like TikTok or YouTube or even Facebook and done those live sessions?
We've never done Facebook or YouTube, but we've done TikTok. There was a couple weeks where we were trying to be consistent with it. It was just difficult with our schedules. And also we work in the restaurant industry. So it's like, or in the entertainment industry otherwise. So it's like the times that people are online looking for stuff like that are the times we're working.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the difficulty, because we don't work a 9-to-5 office job.
Yeah.
In that case, we could just do it after. So it's always like, okay, well, we're free today from 9 to 3:30. So if we go live at like noon,
30 or
it's like we'll get some people.
Yeah.
But like most people are at work.
They can't watch.
It's been difficult because we don't have like that Friday, Saturday spot at like 8:30 or 8 o'clock or whatever, where everyone can tune in. But we would like to eventually,
we've talked about doing more of it in general. We just need to, maybe start doing it consistently and just see what happens and see if we can get people, because even on certain platforms, you might get people from different countries that it might be a different time.
Yeah.
So, even though everyone in America is, at work, it might be a different place or time in a different country where, they might be able to watch and you get followers that way. So.
Yeah, I know there's a couple guys that I follow that they do TikTok lives pretty consistently, and they've started to come over to YouTube. The hard thing is that transition from one platform to another, which is something that I've personally dealt with. You get a good following on one platform doesn't necessarily mean that following's feed to another platform. So it's just like, damn, you guys, it's the same thing. The same thing you're watching and you love. Just come over here and watch it instead of on this one. But and it seems like no matter when some of these guys go, that's why I brought it up to you guys. They get a decent audience in there, and people will request songs, especially if you're open to do covers and stuff like that, and and still mix in some of your original music as well at the same time. Would probably be a little beneficial to you guys. But I get it, trying to find the time.
I feel like we found a decent following recently too on Facebook, which we didn't really know that we were going to get. It just kind of happened out of nowhere. Certain videos have kind of popped off and we're paying a little bit more attention to Facebook. But I do think, even talking to my aunt today randomly and talking about Instagram, she's like, I don't have Instagram, but I have Facebook. There's a lot of people that don't have all 3-4 platforms and they only use one of them. And it's like, you kind of have to make sure that you're hitting the mark on all of them, which is exhausting, but here we are. There's certain people and the demographic that our songs are hitting. It's kind of like we want to make sure that we're paying attention to those analytics and kind of paying more attention to the people on those platforms that are more prevalent on certain ones, Facebook versus Instagram and TikTok versus what, you got to figure out who's watching what and at what time. And
it's weird how randomly
they are.
how randomly they pop off, because TikTok, we tried forever on Instagram. Instagram still hates us.
It
Instagram,
really it's not a fan.
Instagram will be like 100 to 200 views no matter what we do.
Sometimes we'll get 1,000, but that's
every so
crazy.
often. But we finally started doing TikTok, but as millennials, way too late.
Yeah.
TikTok was the easiest. Like TikTok, we at one point 1 or 2 posts popped off to like 20,000 views, and we like struggled for a whole year to get from like 100 followers to like 1,000, and then all of a sudden over the course of a couple months we had 12,000.
Yeah.
And now we're just
all of a sudden recently Facebook was even worse than Instagram, and then 1 or 2 posts on Facebook, for some reason, like people just kept commenting on them,
and it blew up.
And they blew up to like 70,000 views, and then all of a sudden Facebook is like, okay, give us more. And the only one that's never, and YouTube has always been really consistent about, we've always had consistent views and consistency on YouTube. That's never been a problem. But it's funny because like Instagram wants nothing to do with us, but Facebook all of a sudden is like.
But it's crazy because we went
from like 900 followers to like 6,000 in one weekend. And it's weird because you never know.
Really,
and that's why we just keep plugging, and it probably gets annoying for some people, and some people, I mean, I feel like content's just not for them when they're like, you're always posting the same thing and I don't like it. It's like, well, this is a discovery platform. Yeah. So if you see it multiple times and you don't like it, just press the button and say, see less of this, or unfollow.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't, this isn't what we want to be doing. We're musicians. I mean, we're not doing this for fun. We just want people, we're trying to find people that like our music. So.
No, exactly. I think that's across the board for everybody. You get some sweet spots.
Not too. Nice. Who did you match with?
Yeah, which one of us did you match with?
Which beer did you match with?
Kato is one of our longtime followers. It's funny how like social media will do that. Like I'm in the same boat with Instagram as you guys are, man. I had one video that popped off 600,000 views, and I'm like, oh yeah, we got it. And then the next few
like 200.
It's like, come on, man. But our lives, we might get a handful of people in here. It's the replays where we really benefit from on YouTube. But just recently, now it's like everything I put up is getting a couple thousand, reels or whatever is getting 1,000 to a couple thousand views. I'm like, hey, we're finally knocked on YouTube's doors. TikTok hates us. That's okay because
you never know though. Just keep
we're not even allowed to go live on TikTok on our TikTok account.
I mean,
account, that's one thing, but our podcast account, we can't even go live on there, so I don't even mess with it too much. But yeah, it's what it is. But it's just that funny. You got to find that sweet spot in the algorithm, and take I don't know if there's a way to replicate it or whatever, but I mean, I don't mind. I actually enjoy if I'm following an artist and I'm a fan of that artist. If I scroll through Facebook or I scroll through Instagram and I see 6 or 7 of your posts in a row, I don't care, because that means that those social media platforms are pushing it out there for you guys, and they're force feeding people, and that's good, And I'm gonna like every one of them. So until they tell me I've liked too many times.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's because you bought them all.
The crazy, we were like within 100, I think 100 hours of the 3,000 hours that YouTube requires to monetize. And then it reset the clock. Like,
oh yeah, you got to be in that.
And then it just like jumped down and jumped down and jumped down. And I was like, I give up. I don't care. I don't care.
That's where that consistency kind of pays off. We benefit from it greatly because it was all shorts. Nice. We benefit because we have live shows 7 days a week, basically.
Yeah.
And some days, like Saturdays, every other Saturday we have 2 shows, and during the football season we have 2 shows on Sunday because I do a sports show, and then my girlfriend and I do another show with like paranormal, true crime, and cryptids and stuff like that. So we benefit from the fact that we're live every night during the week to get the 2 hours. But that's all we really do. There's not a lot of shorts. There's not a lot of videos. But yeah, it took us. I mean, it took us a long time to get those 3,000 hours.
Yeah,
you know, it is an absolute uphill climb. You know, it's that social media monster that you gotta anymore. Unfortunately, like you guys said, you're an influencer first.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm a terrible influence, so nobody wants me influencing them. So what do you guys got anything that you're working on? Do you want are you working on maybe an album, or are you going to stick with the single? That seems to be the new method for new musicians, is the singles on the social medias and banging them out there.
I mean, honestly, we've wanted to do an album since probably our first song, where we're just like, we have all these songs, wouldn't it be easier to do them all together and like and I love the idea of making an album, like being in the studio, workshopping it, like taking multiple days, just like living there. And like, you know, I there's something about it that's just very music to me, like the dream, or at least like what I grew up watching,
and wanting.
Like documentaries of my favorite artists of like the 60s and 70s. Like they went to this, you know, Queen went to this place out in the woods and they put together this album, and they didn't even have this song wrote, but they had to write another song to fit it in the album, and it became their greatest hit. Like that kind of like story nostalgia is like something I always think about. But everyone we've talked to is like, you're not big enough to do an album. Don't do an album. Just do singles.
Yeah. Could we do it?
Not in a mean way.
No,
yeah. It's more like nowadays.
Don't waste your money.
Nobody cares if you drop an album. Nobody's going to care about it, and then you're going to be crestfallen that you dropped like 10, 20 songs, and nobody listened to any of them. Yeah. So you're better off just doing single after single and keeping the algorithm happy, right. Which is all everyone now, we strive to please the algorithm.
We are the algorithm. We are right there with you guys. Trust me.
I love the algorithm. The algorithm is everything. Praise the algorithm.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just the way of the world. And I take it from our betters to know better than we do, and our producers and people who have been doing this for longer than we have, who are just like, do yourself a favor, just do singles until something happens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the medium is an EP, which would be probably like 4 to 5 songs, maybe, or 3 to 4. And we've definitely hem and hawed about doing one of those and like when the appropriate time would be. And, you know, it's really hard because we do want to do that. And actually at the same time, you know, every single has its own album art. Every single has its own everything. So you have to like rinse and repeat, like we've said, every 6 to 8 weeks. And that's exhausting.
Yeah.
And to release an EP and do the waterfall effect where you still release them as singles, but it's the same album, you know, that's a little bit of a different thing than releasing a whole album, because you're not dropping 15 of your songs just like into a bucket that's not going to, you know, get anything from it. So we have talked about an EP. We might do one next year, but right now we're very much like on this, just feed the algorithm, give it a single every 6 to 8 weeks, depending, and see where we land and hope that something, you know, kind of blows up enough to warrant an EP.
Yeah. Well, and that seems to be the formula, you know, anymore with a lot of the Slaves to the Algo. Cool band name right there.
I might write that down next to your wizard, Harry.
Yeah.
There you go. A side project.
That could be our electronica offshoot.
Slaves
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, that seems to be the formula. You know, talk to a lot of artists and stuff, and that's like, yeah, you know, I'd love to do an album, but like you guys said, this is what artists are doing. They're a song here and there. You know, maybe the EP. I have had a few people that I know drop the EPs, and they seem to do pretty well, because that's the unfortunate thing is the society we live in. Our attention spans have gotten smaller than a fly's attention span. So, you know, I'm old. I miss the days of going to the music store on release day and getting, whether it was the record or the tape or the CD, and jumping in my car or going home and putting it in, reading the album art, you know, or looking at the album art, reading the stories in there, and just listening to it. But unfortunately, nobody does that anymore. You know, they listen to YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, whatever the case may be, and they're perfectly fine getting, you know, 1 or 2 songs every few weeks. You know, I know when freaking Morgan Wallen dropped his album last summer, damn near 40 freaking songs on it, and that weekend the kids were gone, and I was like, I'm going to go to the lake for the weekend, and sat there and put my earbuds in and listened to the whole album. And I was like, well, there was my whole day on one guy. I didn't realize he put so many songs on this album until I was in it. And I was just like, crap, man. So yeah, you guys.
That's because every writer in town is like, Morgan Wallen, do you want to cut this song?
Yeah. I don't think the guy can say no at this point.
Right. We were just talking to a guy, actually one of our audio engineers. Was it Aiden that we were talking to? About one of the musicians, about like the long form like CDs where it was like the long sleeve CD.
No, they used to put them in the case so they'd stick up high enough when they just had albums. When they had it was like a CD but a double CD. If you remember.
It was like a long one.
Where they had sometimes they would have art on both. But other times it would just be clear on the bottom, and it would just be like an extended case, so they would stick out at like Best Buy. Yeah, and I was like, and you just jogged a really.
I didn't even know that was in there.
Long memory for me.
In between of cassettes and CDs, and just like the normal CD that was wrapped in plastic.
Mm.
But yeah.
When you guys really, you know, you brought up like the song art and stuff like that. Do you guys sit down and create all that, or do you have somebody that does that for you? Or
we have multiple friends and a couple family members that are artists, or the guy who's done all of our music videos, Zach Knudsen, is a phenomenal photographer.
And
videographer, although, you know, I think he thinks of himself more as a photographer, and, you know, that is what he's like passionate about. His photography is sometimes mind-blowing. I've never seen anything like it. Truly spectacular. But we were lucky enough to meet him, Paul McDonald, another person in town, and another great artist to check out. The guy, you know, he's just phenomenal. We met him in a clandestine kind of show we played in New York. Really long story and weird story about how we got there. But we met him there, and he introduced us, where we asked him, hey, do you know a photographer when we needed photography done? we met Zach. We became really good friends with him and his wife, and he does all our music videos. And where was I going? Oh, the album art.
Yeah.
We've used some of his photography for like Last. That is a photograph he took.
Right.
That was part of, most photographers. I think our first photographer we worked with was like, I'll do 20 photos for you for like $1,000 or whatever. And whatever it was, I don't know if it was exactly that, but Zach like really just like had us come in and have different outfits and like made us feel at home, and like we were hanging out with a buddy, made us feel really relaxed, and all the photos came out so incredible. We were like, man, you took 200 photos and we want all of them. But you're gonna make us choose this many. Because usually a photographer will take all these photos, but they, then they touch up and do more work on a few. Mm-hmm. But there was so many that we didn't use for like, we wanted just a couple of photos for like, I don't know, for like press releases and other things like that, and like Spotify profile and yada, yada, that we had all these extras. So we've used some of those for album art. And then I have a cousin who's Brendan Cooney, who he does spray paint art. He's an incredible artist. Does murals all over the world. We've done a couple with him. And then
Margot and Joe,
who are great graphic artists that they do, basically I feel like they can do anything, but they usually are just geared to like whatever we hone them in on.
Usually the style too, we talk about the concept and then we tell them kind of what style we're looking for, if it's more drawn or if it's more artistic or if it's more, abstract, or, they kind of go in any direction. But they did a whole, they have their old videography like company as well. I mean, they've got a lot of stuff.
They did our very first music video, which was amazing. And then Alex Westbrook, which is, she did the cover art for a previous band that I was in. And she is a good friend of ours as well. She's done one of our artworks. She doesn't like do that so much anymore. So it's, a little bit of a like, hey, do you have time to do this? Yeah.
But I think she loves it because it's like a fun outlet for her. Something that she doesn't get to do now. She has kids and, a lot of other things. And I think it's nice for her to get the invitation to be creative in that way and get paid for it from someone that she knows, and, do something that's like heartfelt.
Ultimately, sometimes we're just like, oh shit, we have a song to release.
Sometimes
we get it. We have a 8-week window, but we get back the master like 4 weeks from the release. And we're like,
and that's when you have to start pitching.
Nobody, like, we can't ask any of our friends to just like spit this out in 2 weeks, or they're busy or whatever. And we're like, let's just find a picture of something and do it.
It's rare, but it has happened.
That is the crux of doing all singles. It's every single song. It's like every time you have to do everything from soup to nuts.
You blink your eyes and it's already time to do another one. You're like, oh.
That's what we're trying to get ahead of now, is to get out of that cycle of constant stress. Of like, you go in to track, and then you go in to do vocals, then you wait for the mix, then you communicate based on what you want to change in the mix. So that can be
back and forth,
1 to like 5 different edits. Take 1 to 3 weeks, and then it goes to master, and that could take 1 to 2 weeks, and then you get the song, and then you have to put it all into the distributor, and you have to wait for the distributor to send it to Spotify and to Apple and all the things. And to do that, you have to have the album art, and then you have to put the album art on it, and then you have to have them send it. And it's just like, and then Spotify's like, well, you have to pitch to us within a certain amount of time. We're still not going to answer you, but you won't be on release radar unless we get it in time.
Yeah.
We're not going to ever respond to you or put it on any of our editorial playlists unless you're someone who we know. But
and then you take a heavy sigh and it's time to do it.
Yeah,
all over.
And then you're like, finally, I did it all. And then you have to make a pre-release, pre-save, message all your friends, email all your followers, promote it on and then you have to get all your creatives done. And then you have to get all your creatives and put them on Meta and set up advertisements.
Just you talking about it is exhausting.
When you say, every 68 weeks, it's like, oh, it's nice. You get to take a break in between. But you really don't.
No.
You really don't.
This is what the record industry is made of. Like, usually you have a team that's like, there's a person who does for everything.
Things, yeah.
So it's like you as the artist are just like, hey, you just make music. You keep doing what you're doing. We love you. As an independent artist, it's like no one loves you. You should think that at all times until we say otherwise.
Yes.
Also keep doing everything.
Yeah. I trust me. I totally understand as a guy who literally does. Like, that was my thought. I'm going to start a podcast. It'll be easy.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, there's a lot. This is a second full-time job that I don't get paid for at all.
Yeah,
we know the deal as well with Twitch was like,
it's all money out, no money in.
We were thinking like, oh, we could get so much exposure and we could probably make a little money doing the Twitch
so
thing.
Fun and easy.
And then it'd be like,
no,
just hundreds of hours, and we were like, what do we make for this?
$5.
Yeah, no, that's the nice thing, even TikTok, you can go on there and do a live and people can send gifts and all that stuff. And it's like, I just did a 3-hour live, and got a whole bunch of gifts and stuff. And then you go and look at it and it's like $3 and or something like that. You're like, well, damn.
and then even to put insult to injury, you watch like famous people, they just like start a live and they're just eating a sandwich and people give them like $50,000 and you're like, why? They don't need it. Ella Langley does not need your $50,000. What are you doing?
There's not easy at all. There's a podcast that I watch. We got our super chats. We finally got monetized on YouTube, so people can send super chats and they can send gifts if they want to. But there's a podcast that I watch, and they do these long 6, 7, 8 hour long shows. And in order for them to read, like if you want your comment read or acknowledged, you have to send a gift or a super chat of a minimum amount. And I'm watching, I had never watched the full podcast, but just watching clips on YouTube, people are sending in these $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $600 super chats just to get their stupid comment read.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, man, if that guy's getting in an 7, 8 hour show, how many of these is he getting? Because I just watched a 10-minute clip and he got like 12 giant super chats. like good Lord.
Yeah, what kind of lure are you putting on your line?
Right.
Yeah. That's what I need. That's what I need to do. I need to get to that level.
Thank you.
But so I don't want to keep you guys too late, but I do want to start wrapping this up. Do you guys got anything coming up? Anything that you're out now that you're pushing and promoting, or any shows or anything like that you're going to be doing anytime soon?
We have another release on July 10th. It's called What's Mine. And not too long ago, we released Drown.
Mm-hmm.
So that's out. What's Mine will be the next one. And then we play a writer's round at Odie's in Nashville in 12 South, right?
Yeah, on
On Tuesday
week from
next week.
today. Yeah, Tuesday next week.
So those are the main ones. There's a secret show we can't talk about.
In July.
In July. If you don't know, now you know, but we can't tell you.
If anyone's in Ireland, we'll be there end of August, beginning of September. We might play a show.
Oh, nice. yeah, we can go. Go, girlfriends, can we go? Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Caleb's like, we're booking flights today.
Yeah. That's all we have booked for now.
Yeah, I think next year is like it was this year too, but the beginning of the year was not kind. So we definitely want to play out more, but we're still like trying to feed the algorithm and like put music out but live shows.
We're getting better at getting ahead of the game. So
yeah,
right now we have a lot in the works and in the log, and the idea or the hope is that we stack up releases enough to do all of next year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can basically have those pretty much already done and focus on playing live.
Yeah. And like reaching out to venues like we've talked about, and reaching out to those same venues that we reached out to when we moved here that are like, hey, we don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You know? And now we're like, hey, we have stuff. We have a following. Like, please let us book your show. And I think there might be more response than there was a couple of years ago when we didn't really have anything.
Yeah, exactly. And, ultimately, it'll be nice when you guys reach that point where they're reaching out to you. And then you're reaching out to them.
Yes. Well, and I mean, Pierce said it. Merch is everything. That is how people make their money these days. It's not by touring. Yeah. Touring is really expensive.
That is,
and you
right at the top of our list.
Sell merch. So
just getting a shop. We do have merch on our website.
But we need to get a Shopify.
We have T-shirts on there, but we need to get a Shopify going to just be more findable.
Yeah. Well, and we needed a fan base, right? Or like a following before anything else. So we're like the building blocks, trying to get a fan base and then get the merch and play out more and have people buy the merch and just one step at a time.
Yeah. See, Wally, Pierce is not only my best friend and one of my oldest friends, but he's also my partner here on the network. He does a couple shows with motorsports, and they have been busting my balls lately about merch. And I'm like, merch costs money, and I have the equipment to where I can do shirts and I can do cups and I can do hats and I can do all the things.
Yeah,
but it costs money, and there has to be a demand for it before I go spend a whole bunch of money, because again, independent means you pay for everything out of your pocket.
Well, when it just sits in a box, right? You're like, okay, I have all this stuff that no one's buying.
Well, we originally did merch. We bought it from someone that we knew who did merch for like bars and restaurants. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of sat. We paid, what is it? The hosting platform. Squarespace.
Oh, like, yeah, the website. Squarespace.
We paid Squarespace like $30 a month.
To have like a shop on there.
To have a shop on there, but no one bought any of our shirts. So it's like.
We had a few.
I mean, right off the bat, we had family and friends buy.
Twitch.
Buy like the initial pop was like, okay. But at this point, we've paid $300 more in hosting a store than we ever made.
Yeah.
On the shirt. So it's like,
isn't it always like
we can just do, that's why Shopify and stuff like that exists, because they just make the shirt when someone orders it and they take it.
Right. Which is great. Because then it's not sitting at your house.
Until such time you have a following where you're like playing shows and then you show up with the merch, and that's when.
And then you sell it.
That's when it pays more, because you're like, I bought like 800 shirts
amount,
for $8 a piece, and I'll sell them for $30, and then make some money.
Sure.
You know?
And that's what I said. Right now, the handful of people that want to buy stuff, I'm gonna have to sell a T-shirt for $50 to make any money off of it. Who wants to buy?
Who's buying that?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do that to people. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. Somebody's like, "Yeah, I got a T-shirt here." Well, yeah, okay. Well, I can spend $15 and make the same shirt that you have. Why am I gonna buy it for $50? No matter how much I like you and I want to support you, I'm not doing it. I would like the demand to be there to where I can still make a little bit of money, but also keep them, at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
I'm not out here trying to gouge people to death, but the merch will come when it's ready, when the time is right. I think that goes
Pierce.
for everybody. When the time's right, so suck it, Pierce.
It's the chicken before the egg.
All right.
Before the chicken.
No, we don't know who came first.
Yeah, who or what came first? We don't know. That's the question that baffles everybody's mind.
Pierce, you gave up so easily. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, he does. You're not allowed to quit. He tells me every week he quits the network at least 20 times a week.
Awesome.
So now, before I let you guys jump off here, let you go. I always ask. I know it's kind of cheesy and it's cliche, but I don't care. It's kind of a two-part question, two-part answer. Any up and coming musicians or anything like that? What would be some advice that you guys would give them? And also, any piece of life advice, something that maybe somebody told you once upon a time that stuck with you, or as you get older, you've realized things in life and you have your own little philosophy about something.
Do you want to go first?
Life advice.
I would say haters gonna hate. We were talking today, and this really resonates with me because there are people, I don't know if you read it or if you've seen Reddit, but there are people on there that are not great. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
and there's certain channels that are promoting people that aren't very great, right? Or people that think that they're not, like, they don't think that those people are great. No matter what, those people are still posting and still out there and still doing what they're doing because they believe in it. And to be honest, no one's going to be your biggest fan if you aren't. And I think that as hard as it is, it's so hard for me. I'm really bad at motivating myself, at being my biggest fan, at being pretentious. And obviously there's a difference between being pretentious and being like really full of yourself when you don't, maybe you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But no one's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. So I think that is a really big life lesson, no matter if it's in music or if it's in just in life. I think it shows a lot more integrity if you're just out there believing in yourself and doing what you want to do because you love it and you believe in it and you want to be doing it. Usually everything else follows that. And if it doesn't, you can at least say that you tried and that you did what you wanted to do and no one else, told you that you couldn't and you quit because of that. So that's my little token.
Yeah. Piggybacking off of that, you can't lose if you don't quit. And some of my like sports idols, like, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, just people that had ultimate confidence, is what got them through. And I think if you lose sight of whatever job you're trying to do, maybe you don't call it a job, maybe it's a vision or a dream, but if it's not done, then it's not done. You keep going. And you once you get over that finish line, you can stop. Mm-hmm. Want to, or you can keep going. Mm-hmm. And as far as like advice for people, musicians just getting started or anything like that, is I think one, I guess I say this, but maybe some people should take the advice, that if you encounter enemies, you're going the right way. It's video game logic.
I know that's true. I know that's right.
You know, because but I mean, I guess that's a little bit flawed, because maybe it is really just bad. But like she was saying, like people who get hated on and they keep with it, is like, you don't lose unless you quit. Once you quit, you've lost. So if you keep going,
then power to be like, okay,
if you keep going,
you beat me down enough,
then there's always a possibility that you win. And that possibility disappears if you quit.
100%. Now, Cat Williams has a bit about haters. If you got 14 haters, you're doing something right. Go out and get 6 more. Yeah. And I'm a prime example of that. I've been doing this podcast thing for 5 years. It started out as a complete fucking shit show before we went content driven in the last year and a half, 2 years, and started doing shows like this one. Come across a lot of hate in my way, in our journey, and a lot of times it was like, you know what, fuck it, why am I doing this? But at the same time, come back to the stubborn time. I'm a stubborn ass son of a bitch, and I am my greatest fan. I know that I'm the great, the best at what I do. maybe a little bit of an ego. So
that's helpful.
Yeah. So I joke all the time that Joe Rogan ain't got shit on me, and I mean, props to the guy. He's the godfather of podcasting. But I'll put it out there, because eventually one day somebody's going to go, Joe, there's this weird ass dude that does a show from his bedroom. And I'm going to get Joe Rogan's attention. I'm going to be on his radar.
That's hilarious. Well, that's the thing too. Like, even on different platforms, we always joke about, if we get negative comments, we're like, look, Mom, we made it. It is a thing. If you're not getting negative feedback in some connotation, what are you doing? There's going to be people that are going to hate you, and it's okay. And you have to embrace it and laugh at it and just be like, okay, I'm confident enough to laugh at you and be like, cool, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm the greatest.
Yeah. 100%.
And I'm not laughing at you.
I love the supporters. I love people out there that support us and watch all of our shows and like what we do and everything like that. And that definitely drives me to keep doing it and being better. But when a hater comes in and starts talking out of pocket or gets sideways, that's just more fuel to the fire. Like, now I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Like I said, MJ.
And
I took that personal.
Yeah. We always joke about that.
And I took that personal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. You guys are awesome. I am a fan of the music. One of the cool things about this show is not only getting to hang out with you guys, but in a small way, getting to go on this journey with you as a fan and watching you guys grow and watching the music and listening to the music. Anything we can do, don't be strangers. If you got something coming up, new music, send it my way. I run all the social medias. So if you're talking to somebody on social media, it's going to be me. Anything we can share for you guys, throw up in our stories, just let us know. And I would love to have you guys back on again. I love bringing guests back down the road, a few months down the road, just to catch up, see what you guys are doing, shoot the shit and hang out again, if that's something you guys would be interested in. But yeah, don't be strangers. We definitely want to push out your music as much as we can as well. Yeah, so I need to get back into the habit. I used to do a thing called New Music Friday, and we just fill our stories full of former guests that have new music out, whether it came out that week or it's been out for a month or so. It's new and it's out there, and we want to do our part. So whatever we can do, if you got something coming up, a show, we can promote it. We'll absolutely throw it out there on the socials for you guys, or share it, or anything like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. We had a great time on here. Scorpio, thanks for liking Drone Drum. Just want to say that out loud.
Because Scorpio is great. He's one of our loyal followers, and he goes and from the moment he hears who the guest is going to be on Tuesday, he goes and listens to all the music and comes in and chats about it and say the songs that he likes and everything like that.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Appreciate you having us on.
Yeah.
Hanging out with us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys again, taking a little bit of time coming up here and hanging out with me. We'll do it again down the road, I hope. And hopefully, like I said, I'll continue to watch you guys grow and succeed, and anything we can do to help, don't be shy.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you.
Yep, absolutely. I'll let you, if you guys want, you can hang out or you can drop down. I got to do my little spiel. And Wally, who do you have coming up this week? I got to do my little closing spiel. So you're welcome to hang out.
Yeah.
Or you can drop down. It don't matter. But thank you guys for hanging out, watching, listening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with Thistle Oak and getting to know them and hearing some of their tunes. Go check them out. Got all their social media in the chat. They're really easy to find. Just put in Thistle Oak Music or Thistle Oak. You're going to find them everywhere. Check out their music. Blow up their algorithms. And if you don't like it, you heard what they said. Tell them.
Give it to us.
But make sure you guys check out the rest of our shows this week. Tomorrow night, I got comedian Joe Sirocco coming on, I believe from Jersey or New York. I can't remember, one of those two states up there. Tomorrow night is going to be a good time chatting with him and hearing about his comedy career. Wally is doing a free-for-all Thursday night. So that's going to be him and Johnny just chatting about whatever's going on in the racing world. It's rough truck season and monster truck season and motorsport season, or not motorsport, motocross. Excuse me. So, and then Saturday we've got Cash's Corner. Cash and I'll be talking wrestling. That's my son. We're big wrestling fans, so we do a wrestling podcast together. And then, of course, Saturday night, we got the Crazy Shit Show. So tune in for all the shows. Check us out. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Give us a share. bio.link/Nonsensical Network. And don't forget, we always do have the super chats and all that fun stuff going on in the chatters box. Saturday nights, the biggest super chatter has the opportunity to, if we reach our goal, has the opportunity to come up on one of the shows throughout the week and co-host with us. It's a little something we're trying to do. People are donating money to allow them to come up and be a part of one of the shows, as long as they follow the rules and understand that it's not Saturday night. And unless they want to co-host Saturday night, which that's fine too. I don't care. They have to behave themselves. But again, thank you to Thistle Oak, Paul and Lindsay. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. And everybody that watches and supports, make sure you go follow them as well. We're going to end the show with a little bit of, if I can get my buttons right, with a little bit of Whiskey and Wine, because that's one of my favorite songs, and it's my show. So
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Have a great night, and we'll chat again.
All right.
And you are welcome to back out while this is playing. You don't have to stick around or anything like that. I have had some guests go, do I have to wait around for this to be over? Like, no, I'm not holding you captive. You're welcome to leave anytime.
We're game, so we're going to watch.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel you. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks, you too.
I'll take my chances. I'll follow the rest. I'll break my own heart, because I do it the best. There's no reason to doubt it. it's not one of a kind. So I'll go back to my whiskey, and you go back to your wine. Let's take our chances.
Am I a means to an end?
Just close the curtains.
Can we lie here instead?
There's no reason to doubt it. No